Hi, I'm Libby, and I had a friend that wanted to know a few things about the reserves, and I figured, the easiest way to help was to make a video, and I'm gonna call it Basic Training 411 for the Army. Well, I'm gonna be here for a minute, so I guess I get comfortable with my, reclining chair. Just a minute, just a minute. Okay, so her first question was, do you have to go to basic training, and how long? Yes, everybody is required to go to basic training. There's there's no way around it. It's 10 weeks, but if you want to be technical, it's 9 weeks, 4 days. And she didn't ask this, but I figured I'd throw it in. What to expect? Reception. You generally, you stay at reception about 4 days, and then on the fifth day, you go to basic training, to your company. Reception, you generally, get paperwork done, you get shots, you receive your military ID, and kind of get a glimpse of the drill sergeants. I bet you're wondering, like, what's a drill sergeant? What's a drill sergeant? What's she talking about? Well, the real definition of a drill sergeant is a drill sergeant is a non-commissioned officer who trains civilians to become soldiers. My definition of a drill sergeant is a highly paid private. I'm just kidding, but some of them are like that. But like they say, it's a non-commissioned officer that has been trained. Basically, drill sergeants go through another basic training to become a drill sergeant, and they basically yell at you 24/7. Like, no matter what you're doing, you have to do everything in a quick pace. When they ask you to do it, you do it. It's like there's no back talking, none of that. Like, this is not your mom's house. You're gonna do what they say. And another thing is like the drill sergeants are basically your brain and you're the robot. So when they tell you to do something, you do it. When they tell you to jump, you don't ask how high, you just say yes, you're sergeant, and go on about your business. Don't ask why you gotta do it. Don't ask none of that. Just say yes, drill sergeant, and complete your task. But I know like some people gonna be like, oh my goodness, a drill sergeant, I'm so scared. Like when I had my first encounter with a drill sergeant, I wasn't scared. I was more so shocked. It was like, can they really talk to me like that? Like they could just cuss in my face and it's okay? Yes, they can cuss in your face and it's okay. But basically, how to survive a drill sergeant, just do everything they ask you to do. And when they ask you to do it, don't have no facial expressions, don't smile in their face. Just say, yes, drill sergeant, and go on about your business. Um, Typical day is like, it's demanding and challenging. Like, you have to be quick to respond and, give 100% at all times. Like, some people can adapt like like that, and some people can't. It might take a little more time, and that just means more push-ups for you. And like a typical schedule, this isn't for everybody, but this is how my typical schedule was when I was there. Okay, wake up, go to a formation, do PT, possibly, get some hygiene in before, you go to your activity for the day. But if not, have another formation, go eat breakfast, then you have another formation, and then you either do what your drill sergeant tells you to do, or usually you'll go to do your activity for the day, like go to the range, or like do combatives. It's just a bunch of stuff that y'all gonna be doing, like throwing grenades, like different guns that y'all are gonna be handling. You might get to shoot them. You gonna get to, it's a lot. You'll see all that when you get there, and see, you'll either eat dinner there or not. No, well, you eat lunch. When you're doing your activity for the day, you'll have lunch there, and and then like you'll continue doing your activity, and you may have dinner day. It just depends on how long that activity is or whatever. But generally, you'll come back and you have formation, and then you'll go eat dinner, and then after dinner you have another formation, like, and then like after that formation you'll either go to the war room. That's what we call it, the war room. But they can be like it's just a place that you'll be going. That's where your platoon, will go to. Like when they say, "Oh, go to the war room," or "Go to the whatever they want to call it," it's just where your platoon meets. Um, let's see. I said go to formation, and then you'll have personal hygiene again, but they'll call it personal time. And then after that, during this personal time, it's usually an hour. It might get cut short if y'all mess up, but it's usually an hour. During this time, you can write letters, take a shower, prepare your clothes for the next day, because you're going to want to do that, because if they have y'all ripping and running and y'all late, y'all getting towed up. And then after that, it's lights out. And then you start that all over again. And I know some people are wondering, like, what happens if you fail at one of the activities for the day? Say you have to have a certain amount of targets you have to hit with your weapon, and say you don't complete it. If you fail at something like that, or say you fail your PT test, like when you say you missed the push-ups by one, or you don't get your run time in on time, and it's like the third one you've done, or it's at the end of that course, like depending on your commander, like he may review some of the things that you've done, and he'll get with I think the drill sergeant and your first sergeant, and they'll all decide whether you could just go to another company, and when they do the course, you do it with them. Or if they feel like you just not ready, they'll recycle you. And that just means like you're gonna have to wait till everybody graduates basically, and go to another company and start from day one all over again. So your best bet is try at everything you do, like put 100% in. Okay, so after you finish basic training, yes, that's gonna be like the happiest day of your life. Like you're gonna be like, oh my goodness, I made it through this. I can make it through anything. Cause this is how I felt. I was so thankful that I got out of there. Yes. But okay, so you'll then go from there to AIT. And depending on your MOS, which is your job, is the length you'll stay there. Like my MOS is 88 mic. That means I'm a truck driver. So mine was only 7 weeks. But you can be, I think my boyfriend's a 68, no, a 92 Yankee. I think their training is 8-9 weeks. I think. Don't quote me on that, but he's supply. I think I said the MOS right. But like him, his MOS is like 8 or 9 weeks. Mine is only 7. So it just depends. Um, AIT is advanced individual training, and it's still like basic sorta, but not exactly. You do get more freedom. Like since my time was shorter, I didn't have to I got my privileges like day one. But my friends that were 74 Deltas, I think that's called a chemical specialist. I know it has something to do with being something chemical. Like their training was a couple of weeks longer than mine. So, they didn't get their phones day one. They got it like a week later. Like they had to earn more of their stuff. Like I didn't really have to do that. I just had to, earn the right to keep it. Day one, I got my phone. I even got to go off post if I wanted to, if my family was there. But since my eyes went back, I told them go back because I didn't know if I was gonna be able to have family the next day. But I got to go off post. No, I was on post, and I just got to go to the little mini malls that they had. I got to go out to eat, and I got to go out basically Thursday through Sunday. Thursdays was shorter than Friday through Sunday. But I got to go off post. I mean, well, stayed on post, but I got more freedom. You do get more freedom, and you do get to keep your phone. If not, when you first get there, you do eventually get to earn it. And some people got to earn their civilian clothes. Since mine was short, I didn't get to earn my civilian clothes, and then all my privileges was like that. So I guess it didn't really matter. But when I got home, I most definitely changed into some civilian clothes, and I was happy to put my blue jeans on. Them shoes, like none of it fit, but I was happy to put it on. Um, let's see. Oh, and also when you get the AIT, you don't have drill sergeants anymore. You just have sergeants, and they usually treat you more like a human being. Like a drill sergeant, they make you feel like you ain't worth nothing. But hey, you might have a drill sergeant that's not that hard on you. But when you get the AIT, they're no longer drill sergeants around. They're sergeants, and they expect you to, know more. They don't expect you to act like a red phase soldier, because you go through 3 phases in basic training. That's red, white, and blue. Red phase, they own you. White phase, you have like this much more responsibility, and like they expect you to know this much more, and they expect you to do not what you would have been doing like when you first got there. In blue phase, they, expect you to know a lot more, because basically they're about to hand you off, and then else they can do. And a lot of them are not around as much. Um, I kind of erased the question, but to answer the question that you did ask me, the same thing you're taking up the when you go to school, AIT, is not necessarily the same thing you would be taking up in college. Like I went to AIT to be a truck driver, but I'm in college to be a nurse. But sometimes, they can send you to college to be a nurse. Basically, the jobs are different. So just keep it at that. Not all of them are the same.